All I got is good times. I got good times.
Hello, welcome back to Richby's Life's Adventures. I keep leaving it too long before doing another video for you guys. But anyway, our next video that you'll see after this one will be our first trip abroad in Craig the Crafter. We're going to Bruges just for a little cheeky weekend for Debbie's big birthday. So we'll have an extended weekend there. But we've done the air suspension and we've got the 5-ton springs on, 4.9 ton Jones's springs, and it rides beautifully now. But it's still a little bit now from the back end, a little bit when you go over a bump, still a bit. And I think what now is my spring capability is outgunning the shock absorbers. Now the shock absorbers were on it when I got it, and we've clocked up 30,000 miles in it since we've had it over the last few years. So there's a good chance them shock absorbers have been on there a good while. So we're gonna swap them out. Now stay tuned for the end of this video where I'll tell you where I got an absolute bargain on some upgraded 5-ton shock absorbers. They're not just ordinary 5-ton shocks, they're actually upgraded ones. And they're suitable for the pickup truck 5-ton, the minibus 5-ton and the box van 5-ton. So anyway, I'll just show you one now. That's the brand of it. It's not exactly the best brand, but for the value of what I paid for them, I think they're a really great value. But anyway, I'll show you one that's unboxed. And that's one that's unboxed. And I'll tell you what, oh, blimey. I'll show you when I get mine off how easy mine are to move compared to one of these. I think we're going to be in for a nice ride then. So we want to get these done before we head away to Bruges, and it'll be 2 weeks for us, but it'll be the next episode for you guys. So let's set about getting this vehicle jacked up, get these fitted. It's only 2 bolts, take the wheel off, make it a little bit easier. Yes, I could do it with leaving the wheel on, but might as well take the wheel off, makes the job a whole lot easier, especially with an impact gun. I can just buzz them out. Right, let's get going. Okay, got it jacked up, got an axle stand underneath it, and I've left the jack underneath for belts and braces. Let's get this wheel off. Okay, just move you in a bit more now. Okay, you can see my air suspension bags there, and we need to undo that bolt there, which is a 21, and then this one down here, which is a 19. So get them undone. Are they 19? Let me check. Sorry, my mistake. It's 18. So that's 18 at the bottom, 21 at the top. So let's get that buzzed out. One bolt, the top one. Okay, got me a short 18 now. I should fit it in that gap. I need a 18 spanner on the back. So on this one you got a shorter bolt and a nut. Then the shock should just come out. That's it. Okay, so there's the shock. It is only 2 bolts, but I'm only doing this video to show that this is a job that the average DIYer can do at home. As long as you've got a 18mm spanner, 18mm socket, 19mm socket, 21mm socket, just, you know, so you can get the wheel off as well and everything like that. you should be able to do that. It's general basic mechanics. Now that one moves in and out. It's got more go in it than I thought, but I have spotted that, look. That's quite fresh. Something's come up there and belted that. I can't off the top of my head think about whether I heard any clunking noise. You know, you don't, if it happened a few months ago and that, I probably wouldn't have took no notice of it. Some of the rubbers are starting to split and perish. So yeah, I'm definitely happy that I'm doing that. These are Monroe ones, and they look like the Mercedes ones. Can't imagine them being originals. Not on the 2015, 130 odd thousand miles. You never know. But anyway, I'm going to fit this one, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, there's the new shock absorber. Now it's not, they're not handed. You can fit them on either side. Now it's best to leave them in this orientation vertically for a little while before you take it on a road test, just to allow the air bubbles to escape. They do advise working it a few times by hand, just to help the air bubbles go, which I'll do now. And then I'm also going to put some anti-seize grease in these, just to enable that to pivot a bit on the bolts at the top and the bottom. And then I shouldn't get no squeaking noises then. So I'll just work that a bit by hand. Oh. That just forces all the air out too much before you start too involved in bolting it up. Right, let's get that bolted on. Just give this a, not on the thread where the nut's going to go, more on where the shock's going to sit. So don't do it on the thread, do it more on where the shock is. That's it. That's the bottom one. Get the nut on the back. And then we'll do the same on this top one. Put some grease on there where the shock's going to sit. A little bit on there. Make sure it screws a lot in before you start just gunning it, because it is easy to think you've got it started and you haven't. I'm going to Google what that torque is, see if I can torque it up. Okay, that's in and fitted. Don't take long, does it? Let me just Google what that torque is, and I'll let you know in a second. Okay, so the bottom one is 105, which is plenty. So that's that. And I've done it on the nut side rather than the bolt side. If you ever torque up and it's a nut and bolt, always do it from the nut side rather than the bolt side, because you'll add extra friction with the length of the bolt. and you're trying to rotate a mass instead of rotating the mass on the thread, if you know what I mean. So do it on the path of least resistance and you get the right torque then. Right, and the top one, is 135. Now, because that's an encapsulated bolt, I've got no choice but to torque the bolt rather than the nut. Right, change the adjustment. Yep, I know that's tight. Now I can pop the wheel back on. Right, and we torque them up to 185. Done. Just got to do the other side.
Now I go down by the coast. This is the place that I love the most, with my George Foreman and my beans on toast and my carefree life in a van. Sit down there and I listen to the
That's that. That's it. Simple as that. It's 2 bolts and the wheel off. You could do it without taking the wheel off. Just makes it easy, especially when you've got an impact gun. Again, you could do it with spanners or ratchet and sockets, and you probably do it without taking the wheel off as well. So anyway, I haven't got time to test it tonight, but we'll do you a bit of a brief rundown as we're driving towards Bruges, or once we're at Bruges, we'll give you a bit of review on what difference it's made to these rides. Now, when I hang on the back of it, it's solid. Which it was anyway, due to the air suspension and the springs, but it's got less sort of. It was very bouncy at first. I should have done that before for you, shouldn't I? Never mind. But anyway, just goes to show it's very easy for you guys or anyone with very little mechanical experience to be able to tackle a job like that. You don't need to pay a garage to do that unless you've got health conditions, but anyone who can wrench a spanner, they can do that. Oh, that reminds me, the place I got the shock absorbers from is from Amazon. So the Amazon, $46.99. I think that's a really good deal, considering if you went to Mercedes and bought these, they would be potentially £80–90 each. Time will tell if they're any good or not. But anyway, I'll leave a link in the description below as to where you can purchase them from. Like I said, it is Amazon. They take next day. If you order them early enough, you'll get them the next day from Amazon Prime. So anyway, $46.99. There you go. So that just leaves me to say, if you like what you've seen, please like, please subscribe, and please drop us a comment. And if you really feel like it, click that little bell icon. You get to see all our future videos. And on that one, we'll see you on the next one, which will be Bruges. Look at that. Need to wash my hands. See you later.